Personally.
I decided to make this video about languages because I was at work the other day and someone decided to tell a very interesting joke. Basically, he was like, a person who speaks 2 languages is bilingual, yes. A person who speaks 3 languages is trilingual. And a person who speaks more than 3 languages is multilingual, right? Me, I'm sitting there like, and he goes, what do you call someone who speaks 1 language? And I was like, he said,
American.
really funny. One way that being here differs from America is that lots of people speak many languages. In America, everybody knows you can expect that people speak English. So I guess in that respect, he's right. People speak English here, people speak French, some people speak Swahili even, as well as some other languages from Uganda or from Burundi. But the main language here is Kinyarwanda, and I have to admit that I know very little Kinyarwanda. I know the basics and hello and goodbye and how much to pay a motor driver if they tell me, but I haven't learned a lot, and I never thought I would be the type of person to go to another country where I don't speak the language. Luckily, the national language used to be French, it just changed to English, and I speak both French and English, so it helps fill some of those gaps where communication is kind of strange. Important thing that I've learned from that is you are never going to speak another language as perfectly as you speak your native language, no matter how hard you try. Like, I know a lot of French, but it took me a long time to say that I was fluent in French, just because sometimes I can be a perfectionist about it. So even though other people would be like, yeah, you're fluent in French, I was like, I don't know, there's still a lot that I don't know. And it's true, there's still a lot that I'm learning, and I know it's going to be a long journey as far as learning Kinyarwanda, but I'm willing to take it on as part of the reason that I started to live here. One thing about language that I find really interesting and kind of relates back to what it's like to be African American in Africa is a lot of the times people come up to me and just start speaking, which can be a little bit awkward because I don't understand what they're saying. So I'm not sure. A lot of people have told me before that I look Rwandan, which I don't know well enough to exactly know what that would mean, but I can sometimes kind of see what they're saying. So it's interesting when people come up to me and are like, English, French, Kinyarwanda, what do we speak with you? I just went to the U.S. Embassy this morning, which I think I'll make a video on that later about what it's like to get work permits, do things like that in a foreign country, because it's a process. I'm working through, but it's a process. And I had to give them my passport, and I had to give them my ID. And of course, I gave them my passport. I gave them my ID, which is, I'm from Chicago, so I have an Illinois driver's license. And they were like, no, we need your Rwanda national ID. And I was like, I don't have one. I'm not from here. One big thing that I noticed that's different between when I'm with white Americans and when it's just me is that people kind of sometimes expect me to know Kinyarwanda already, or are really surprised that I don't know it, I want to learn, and that's one of my goals, but you choose like Spanish and French in 7th grade, it's not, Kinyarwanda isn't really an option, and back in 7th grade I had no idea that this is where I would be by any means, or that Kinyarwanda would be a language I would even be interested in studying. I was talking to one of my roommates, and apparently it is one of the most difficult languages to learn.
Personally, professionally, I see what you're doing intentionally. Get me wanted physically.
It's really complicated, like the sounds that you make, and speaking French like helps me adapt to kind of learning how to speak with a different accent, but it's still difficult to make some of the sounds and some of the words, so I know it'll take time for me. I think as I'm learning, I'm going to try and make more videos on tips and things that have helped me. Granted, I just started, but when I talked to other people before I left about what it would be like to learn another language in a foreign country, they said after time I will catch on. So I think for right now, the most important thing for me is that it's easy to get caught with people who only speak English. And so if you want to speak English in a foreign country, you really can, and you don't have to worry about it. But it takes a little bit of extra effort to force yourself out of the box and to take on another language and learn. And so sometimes I do that by, I have friends who only speak French in Kinyarwanda, so that helps me sometimes because I need to use my French, and then they can teach me the other words, or they mix French and the few Kinyarwanda words that I know together, so that really helps. But my next video should be soon. It's blinking at me. My video's too long. Okay, bye.
Cause I'm in the mood. As long as you feel in the groove, I go deal with you personally.
And this video is someone standing right there. What? Every time I do this, my hair is like doing something crazy. So I'm trying to avoid that.